continuation of our focus on communities around Olumo Rock, looking at their lifestyle and their economy, we return to the tourist site. This overhead brick beam with the inscription Olumo Rock Tourist Complex marks the beginning of the tour. The Olumo Rock is a place of culture in the true sense of it. This spot sitting on the side and the premises, patterned with cowries, signifies where the old meets modernity. The gushing water is powered by electricity. It is a decorative piece with culture engraved all over it. Just by the fountain, there's a restaurant for visitors. And by the restaurant is the art gallery. Razak Ainla, a journalist from a royal family, is in tune with history and tradition of the people. He lays some historical perspectives around the rock and the people around it.
The Olumo was a fortress for the Egba people. As a matter of fact, it was Olumo because that was the place where our forefathers camped during any war. As a matter of fact, during the Dahomey, or what we call the Amazon War, that these women from Dahomey fought against the Egba people. This is where our forefathers camped. And of course, they launched their camp because when you were at the top of Olumo, you will see everywhere. You will see the escape route or the entrance route of anybody. So they camp here for signal and at the same time to launch attack against passive enemy. So Olumo was a fortress for our forefathers. That's where they launched attack from, and that was where also gathered information from. Of course, they will see very long range. Of course, they will see a very long range, and of course, this is where the launch attack from against the passive enemies. So Olumo has been the fortress, and you cannot mention Egba without Olumo. As a matter of fact, if you look at some of our musicians that are of Egba extraction, like Ebizna Obey, he will tell you if you want to know Olumo, just come to Abeokuta. When you get to Ikija, you will see Olumo. So you see in his music, you also see Olumo talking about Olumo whenever he sang. So Olumo has been Egba, and Egba is Olumo. The person that actually found, according to the history, that found Olumo was Adagba, a hunter from Itoko. I was the one that found Olumo. That was the reason they call the old Egba or Abeokuta as Oku Adagba. So this is the man that are supposed to be our progenitor who discovered Olumo. So the host community is Itoko and Ikija. If you are looking at the frontage, it is Ikija. And of course, Ikija are people from Okeono Egba, a section in Egba. Then you also look at the back side of Olumo, it is Itoko. The Itoko people are from Egbake. So we have 4 regions in Egba. There's Egbake, there's Egba Okeono, there's Egba Agura, and Egba Owu. So the 4 of them are just like 4 pillars that Egba. All other obas that are coming from other sections in Egba, they are coronets of our obales or high chiefs. But we have main 4 obas, main 4 monarchs in Egba. And of course, Alake is Primu Inter pares, is the leader of all the 4.
We encourage people to climb gently because of the length of the stairs.
Okay.
Because once you rush yourself, you get tired before you get.
Know.
Yeah.
I
To have a tourist experience, we sought the service of a tour guide.
I welcome you to the first level of Olumo Rock. Olumo Rock is in 3 stages. From the base of the rock to the first landing scape, you have climbed 120 stairs to come this far. That's why you are panting on your way up. And I'm sure you are fit to climb to its summit. The first level of Olumo Rock is called Lishabi Garden. Lishabi Garden is named after one of our past warriors called Lishabi Agbungba Akala. Lishabi was a warrior in his lifetime. He was one of those that fought for Egba to gain their freedoms away from Old Oyo Empire. It is a natural garden set aside for people to take relaxation after climbing the first level of the rock. Also at this point, we have some trees that we are going to be talking about. The first tree around here is the Dongoyaro tree. This is it here. Dongoyaro. English call its name. It botanica is as Adirata indica. If you get from the leaf of the tree and cook cassava and drink, it cures malaria. And if you chew from a stick, it clears bad breath from mouth. Also, the name of the tree is derived from an Hausa face, which means toboy, dogo, yaro. Also, we have a flamboyant tree. The flamboyant produces some long pod. Look at the branches. If you get from those pods, there are some seed inside this. When you tap or shake, it gives a kind of sound, sheke, sheke. And that was where the Yoruba derived its name from. That's why we call it Pansheke in the Yoruba land. They got the name of the tree from the sound of its pod. Also, we have Igiodon. That's tree of doggedness and resilience. In the olden days, that's where our forefathers sit after the day job for relaxation. And even they have their evening meeting among the community under the tree. Also in some villages, some lovers meet under the tree. They use a Yoruba word that says "Pade mi labi igi odon nrole." So after this out, we are going to proceed the tour from the main shrine of Olumo Rock. From there, we move around the rock. There are some shrines that worshippers around the rock. They are not harmful. They are here to reveal our cultural and traditional heritage. I wish you a pleasant trip as you go on the rock. Ekabo.
During the peak period, Ojo Abayomi does 4 or more of these trips from the base of the mountain to the top. Leading tourists on each trip, he does 120 steps from the base of the rock to this point. Tourists are given the option of either climbing the rock via the elevator or the stairs.
So inflow of tourists varies now because of the Nigeria situation. Work just resumed now. So for now, we have more tourists by weekends, public holiday, than schools excursions for our school students.
So there will be a figure of the number of, on a day where you have the highest number of tourists. What numbers are you looking at largely?
Actually, I can't give you the figure, so we need to do more consultation from the management. If you have been anywhere around the town and you are not here, you are not in Abeokuta. So officially now I'm welcoming you to original Abeokuta.
Thank you.
Ekabo.
Thank you very much.
So all these are not the pillar of the rock. The rock is naturally suspended. Nothing is holding it up. They built 5 rooms while they were here. This is the only remaining room. These are the sign of the fallen rooms where they kept their wives and children. And the holes we are seeing here, that was where they do their grindings. Like we use blenders now. It was covered before, but the continual process of the grinding make it deep to what we have right now. And if you look up, you will see you are under the rock. That is simple meaning of Abeokuta.
So, actually under the rock.
Yeah. Let's move now.
And we need to, because it needs to capture this. So this is the grinding over time.
Yeah. So all these structures are not the pillar of the rock.
Okay.
The rock is standing by itself. Nothing is holding it up. And the holes, that was where they do their grindings. Like we use blenders now. The continual process of the grinding make the holes deep, like what we have right now. And out of the 5 rooms that were constructed, this is the only remaining room. These are the signs of the fallen rooms. That was where they kept their wives and children during the war period. And if you look up right now, you will see you are under the rock. And that's the simple meaning of Abe Okuta, under the rock.
It's so cool under this rock.
Yes, that's the nature of rock. It's usually cold.
And the temperature outside is so hot.
Yeah.
It's a sharp
Because the sun cannot have any effect on the rock because of its massiveness. Yeah.
So, yeah, talk about it.
So this is the only remaining room out of the 5 that were constructed. This was set aside as a refuge place for the children and the wives of the warriors then. Other 4 had collapsed. You can see the sign of the fallen rooms. So that was where they kept their wives and children for safety, while men and warriors faced the battle. This tree is called crown tree. Crown tree. It is called the Gyakoko in the Yoruba land. If a king has to be installed or they want to make a chieftaincy title in the Yoruba land, they pluck from the leaf of the tree and hang at the corner of the head. It symbolize royalty. But this very one is mainly used for the paramount ruler of this town, Alake of Egba land, only for him. And the tree has been growing there for years. It does not grow more than that. Also, they have series of deities here. So, which they worship.
Move to the next face. So this leads to the
Itoko.
Itoko.
Yeah.
So the people of Itoko can actually walk in.
They can't.
They can't.
It's mainly for this mama and their visitors.
So they clean.
Because we don't warm this up at the gates. So that's why they This is a baobab tree. Baobab. In eastern part of Nigeria, they call it Afonapunwa. In the northern part, they call it Kuka. Here in southwest, we call it Gioshi. Oshi. It botanica is Adansunia digitata. The swing of the tree to the Yorubas is our traditional believers always come under the tree to pray for protections. There's an adage in the Yoruba land that goes thus. One do yikapa, apa okapa. One do yika igioshi, apa okoshi. One do yika kwanga koshi binukosi. Meaning there is no way you can round your arms around the tree. It is impossible because of its massiveness. That's why traditional believers always come here to pray for protections.
Now, with the constructed stairs and the elevator out of the option, the real climbing begins.
And we have the ancient trail to the peak of Olumo Rock. Before modernization, that was the only means of going up the rock. The ancient trail is a natural passage used by the warriors to access the peak. Tourists are still going through this passage, highly adventuring, so interesting. But in an alternative to return from the rock, there's an alternative stairs over there. So we are going to go up this way now.
Let's try.
Easy, sir. Easy.
En route to the summit of the rock, now it's becoming more physically demanding. At this point,
Yes,
it's dawning on me that this is more of a fitness routine than shooting a piece for TV.
You made it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
This is the summit of Olumo Rock.
At the top of the mountain, you can spot historical buildings, monuments, and see the ancient city in its raw form.
So let's figure out some important places around the town. From this side, we have the first church in Nigeria.
okay.
Look at that school
On the
rock.
on the rock.
Yeah, just look away from the school. There's a structure that has a pointer
See that?
at its front. That's the first church in Nigeria, Cathedral Church of St. Peter Ake. The church was built in 1844 by Henry Townsend. And from this side, there's a long tower, that very long mast. That's the transmitter mast of NTA, Nigerian Television Authority, Okegunya. NTA was the first television station we have in Abeokuta and Ogun State as a whole. Right under the mast, there are two separated buildings. Immediately under the mast. Can you see that? That's Old Baptist Boys High School. Okay, Gunya. Old Baptist was the school some dignitaries attended in Nigeria, like Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, former interim president of Nigeria, late Eneneko, late Chief M.K. Abiola. Many other dignitaries in Ogun State and Nigeria school there. Then you see a building constructed like a church, painted with chocolates, lined with whites. That is the first central mosque in Egba land. Egba Central Mosque, Kobiti.
Like, come on.
The excitement one feels getting to the top of the mountain is different. Omotayo Akinyemi climbed, got to the summit, and now documenting our journey.
Oh, at first, I didn't want to come up here. The tour guide, of course, he dragged me up here. I was really scared. I was super scared. But it's very intriguing, actually. Like, there are a lot of stories, and it was those stories that really, got me. It was those stories. Like, I didn't know. At first, I just thought it was just coming up to the mountain and just seeing the view and just climbing up the mountain. I've never really climbed up the mountain. But I didn't know that there was, a lot of stories of how Asian people took refuge here and all that. It was that story for me, honestly. This is the highlight of my being in Abeokuta. I've been telling them that this was not really, really fun as I expected it to be. But this is the highlight of being here. Come on, look at the view. I'm seeing the entire state. It's very captivating.
Olumo Rock continues to attract tourists from far and wide. The view, the story still excite those who are not first-time visitors.
I've never been here before, even though I'm an indigene. I've just been in Abeokuta about 4 times, but this is the first time I'm actually visiting Olumo Rock. And I've heard a lot about it. A friend of mine has been here before, and he gave me a lowdown about everything that is here, about how people used to hide there during war, about how you can view the whole of Abeokuta from the top of the rock. So I was like, okay, let me come and visit based on Tolu's recommendation. I was like, okay, no problem, bring me here and I'll come and visit. All right. Tolu, Fumi, Heidi, let's go and see the top of the rock.
Razak Ayinla believes that the potential of the rock as a tourist site is not being maximized yet.
It's unthinkable that Olumo, as big as it is, as famous as it is, doesn't have any 5-star hotel around for people to lodge in when they come around. And of course, this is affecting the, if you come around 6 o'clock, this place is closed down because there's no nightlife here again. The reason is that activities are not happening, the activities are not here around here, and this is affecting the people here. I see Olumo where we have 5-star hotels, where we have different amusement park, where we have pub houses, where people come around to relax, enjoy, and a lot of games. But it's a pity government is not looking in that direction. We can only appeal to the present government to look in that direction and ensure that all facilities are needed in this area are provided in order to attract tourists, in order to have a very large impact, economic impact around here. Because if you don't do that, then people don't know what you are just winking in the darkness. We need government attention here. They need to provide facilities. They need to also provide a media promotion, because people should know what we are doing here and what Olumo stands for. It is a story of the first class generation. It's a story of the first class community. For instance, if you look at what Egba stands for, we are first in everything. As a matter of fact, we started our own government in 1888. And of course, we had a government called Egba United Government, even before the amalgamation of Nigeria in 1914.
When you talk about tourism in Ogun State, the first place that the mind of people will go to is the Olumo Rock. And in fact, people feel that Olumo Rock is the only tourist site in Ogun State. And I'm happy that you said when you went there, you could still see that people still troops the place, they still visit the place. Yes, the current government has been trying so much. Though tourism is not an area most governments want to invest in, but we have a governor who believes so much in the culture and tourism sector, and that is why he has continuously invested in that sector. When it comes to Olumo, we are continuously looking at how can we better things, because we want to make more revenue from Olumo. Olumo is one of our revenue making sites in the Ministry of Culture and Tourism. So we want to make more money. So we are daily, continuously looking at how can we better things? How can we make things easier? What can we do without losing the cultural effect of that site? So you can be rest assured that this is just the beginning of the year. By the end of this year, you will surely be able to see new things that would have taken effect in Olumo Rock. Now, talking about tourist sites in Ogun State, like I said, most people believe, oh, Olumo is the only tourist site. So when people come to Abeokuta, they're like, well, I've been to Olumo before. Where else can I go? But in Abeokuta alone, if you go to Ake Palace, you have so much to see. Go to Ake, you have the first church in Abeokuta. We have the first Bible, in fact, the first church in the entire country. You have the first Bible. We have the Kuti Heritage Museum. We have the Pastor Bakari's family house, which has been turned to a tourist site. And we still have the same things in other senatorial districts. Let's go to Ogun East. We have the Bilikisu Shugbo Shrine.
Drawing visitors from far and wide has substantial benefits because tourists bring their perspectives and traditions to the communities they visit. The communities around this rock will hope to get the same excitement the rock brings to many of its visitors.
Mayo, 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 lórí Olúmọ. Mayo, 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 lórí Olúmọ, which means I'll forever rejoice and rejoice on top of the rock. Thanks for coming to Olumo Rock. Thanks for having a unique experience.
I mean, that's a good place to anchor the show. I will rejoice on the mountain. And that's our show for today, everyone. If you miss any part of it, you can watch it on our YouTube channel. You can also follow the conversation on our social media platforms displayed on the screen. Thank you very much for watching. I am Darido. See you next time, and bye for now.